Welcome to Salt Pig, where two cookbook writers chat about the ups and downs of actual home kitchen life. Lucas, what are we talking about this week?
This is a very special episode. This is our 12th episode, and in honor of reaching a dozen Salt Pigs, we have a very special guest, Jenny Rosenstrach, cookbook author, food writer, OG food person in the internet era.
Has an amazing newsletter, Dinner a Love Story.
She's joining us to talk about food as a gift. And all of its occasions and some of the tips and things that we've given, we've received, easy ideas. It's really a fun kind of sprawling conversation.
Mm-hmm. Some of the flops.
I think I'm the only one that has a flop.
Oh, no, I had a flop.
That's right.
I had a few flops. You can find new and old episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, and check us out on Substack too at saltpig.substack.com, where you can sign up for our monthly newsletter, The Chomp, which is coming out this Friday. So be sure to sign up just so you get that right in your email. All right, let's get started. Hi, everybody. We have a really special episode this week. It's our first episode ever where we've had a guest. And we have a doozy with us today. It's Jenny Rosenstrach. She is the best-selling author of 5 amazing cookbooks. My favorites being Dinner a Love Story. She's also done Week-Day Vegetarians, How to Celebrate Everything. And the thing I really love about her is that she focuses on home cooking in like the most practical way. But she does it with a lot of finesse and a lot of emphasis on making things actually taste good and having them really work in like a family environment. So yeah, we're just thrilled to have you here, Jenny. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. That was such a nice introduction. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Trying not to let my nerves get in there. So this episode, our topic today is very self-serving because my brother-in-law and sister-in-law just had a baby. And I was racking my brain. We've been like collecting all these like hand-me-downs and various baby things to send them. They live in California. And I was like, wouldn't it be nice to put some little treats in there, some food treats? I was going to ask Lucas about this offline. And then I was like, oh, we should do it on the podcast. And we thought that, Jenny, you might have some good ideas.
Yeah, it's also nice to think about this like outside of the context of the holidays because food gifts are for all year. Yeah.
100%. Yes. I always say that like the best, whenever you're stumped for any gift idea, that there's almost always a food answer to it. Mm-hmm. And with that particular scenario, it's so nice to have like a happy occasion to give food because often when you're like doing the casserole thing, it's generally someone struggling or going through a tough time or whatever. And it's always just so nice to remember like that this is just, it's like the best news ever and you're celebrating with them. And well, yesterday I wrote this in my newsletter. This is so funny. Someone, a writer, just by chance, it's Maria Semple who wrote, the novelist who wrote Where'd You Go, Bernadette? She has another book coming out in April called Go Gentle. But she does this thing where she shows up to people's houses who have young kids and babies she doesn't even show up with meals. She just shows up to just be like an adult in the room, and she orders DoorDash to just arrive at the same time that she does with an extra meal for the next day. So that sweet. Obviously you can't do that. Yes, exactly. You can't do that across the country, but so many people weighed in with that because I asked people when has the dinner fairy shown up for you? And so many people weighed in and said a DoorDash gift certificate is the best idea because it frees them obviously for the casseroles and the the soups and the freezer. All of that stuff is amazing if you're next door, but like also you're still an adult and you want to be reminded that there's a world out there, and if they're in a city then it's a little bit of the outside world coming in, which I like. So
plus the convenience factor of that, like people being able to do it on their own time and choose what they like. And I mean there is something so obviously so intimate about giving people food, because if you don't know their tastes down to a T, like who knows what they're going to like.
True. Have you sent anything yet or no?
I haven't sent anything yet.
Okay.
we keep being like, we have this huge box and we keep adding. I have 7-year-old twins, and we keep finding more stuff and being like, we're done with these baby towels and we're done with like this stuff.
Do you remember what people did for you when you had twins? Like there must have been some pretty amazing displays of generosity, I would imagine.
There were.
Twice as
my
many?
friend Kari, I remember she and her husband brought over literally a pot of meatballs and sauce with like a package of spaghetti and a bottle of red wine and like a bag of arugula. Nice. And it was like they didn't call ahead. They didn't say, oh, do you have any dietary restrictions? They just made it.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And they dropped it off. And I was glad that we were like home, because I was like,
well, then, maybe
disaster.
It's nice, like, that you can, maybe that's what you do. You find a place in their town that makes that exact meal. So then the note to them becomes like a very personal thing. So it's like, oh, when my friend Kari did this for me, I remember it being the greatest thing ever. I hope it does the same thing. Just, I don't know, just to have it connected
that sort
to
of a tradition.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know.
That's a really nice idea. Then maybe I can send them like some Calabrian chili paste or something relevant.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, or just send them barbecue from like Salt Lick, in Texas. I love that's a big.
Oh, right, because they send it overnight, right?
Yeah, like rack of ribs and the sauces and they send the fixins with it. And someone did that for us in a less happy time when my father-in-law had died, and it was just like such a nice moment of, oh God, we get to spoil ourselves for an evening. And but I think it's not the only one, obviously, that ships to all over. There are many barbecue places that do it. So, but I think barbecue is such a fun
and
thing.
Goldbelly is a good one for that too.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's also nice. I was just thinking about that because when my mom died, a number of people like came by, and there's just like so much going on and you're going through so much. And sometimes it was nice when the doorbell would ring and it wasn't like somebody that you necessarily had to engage with and talk to and go through it, like tell the stories again, instead of somebody just like, I have all these sandwiches for you. Here you go. Bye. And that was kind of a gift in a way.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
And it's also like, I like the idea that someone isn't asking you what you need. They're just doing it.
I think that's right. I mean, that's sort of what I've always come down to with all of these presents. Is it really is about the gesture. I mean, it's gravy to have it be delicious or have it really scratch the itch. But the idea that someone does this thing for you, even if it's something you can't literally eat, I think it would still be quite meaningful. Yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Yeah. Another great one that I got that's that you can order from is Zingerman's in Ann Arbor.
Of course.
Familiar with that? Yeah.
Yeah.
They have great coffee cakes, and I remember a friend sending us this little trio of like mini coffee cakes. And I don't have like a huge sweet tooth, but man, there was nothing better than like when we were just like stuck in the apartment of just eating a ton of coffee cake for days on end.
Yeah, because when do you ever get to do that? It's fun.
Literally never. It felt like the biggest treat ever.
I also love the like everyday just because gifts. There's so many occasions where you like rack your mind for something to merit the occasion, if it's like a newborn baby or somebody going through something. And maybe this overlaps a little bit with like a dinner party gift, but when I meet up with friends, I love to just like, we were talking before about things you can sort of pick up when you're out and about. And around where I live, there's this great little food store. And I think I gave this to you, Ellie, one time, the Kari Kari Chili Crisp.
Oh, yes.
That's this one
I
made
haven't
in
tried
Seattle.
it yet.
Oh, of course.
Of course I haven't.
Touches on a previous episode.
Where I tend to like hoard special treats until it's too late. But I'm going to open that.
It's so good. And it's so special. And like, I don't know, just the gesture of being like, oh, I'm seeing you. I haven't seen you for a while. I brought you this because I think you'll like it. The just because food gifts are some of my favorite. And for us, where we're probably like cooking a lot too, I'm always like trying to offload some of the cooking that I've been doing, and so I often, most people like just expect me to show up with a little paper bag full of soup or bread or something else I've been making.
My kids have started to expect that from Lucas, because he'll like bring over a special loaf of like bread that they're obsessed with, or little pastries or something.
Yeah, and then I get detailed notes.
Yeah.
Aww.
Maybe too detailed. They're like,
you mean like detailed thank you notes, or detailed like notes on
detailed sort of opinions, sort of like this is what we thought of them at first, and then when we got further into it, we thought this. And it's like
That's
these
hilarious.
little, yeah, they're very opinionated. But yeah, I I wonder, like one thing a friend of mine once gave me was a homemade vanilla extract. My friend Annie like made a huge batch of it, and that got me thinking. It is fun when you make a huge batch of something homemade, where you're like, I might as well make a ton of vanilla extract, or like I made my own chili crisp a couple times, and then you just have so much of it. And then it is this you feel sort of like you're like the Easter Bunny or the Tooth Fairy or something, where you're just like, oh, I'm going to put it all in these little jars, and like whoever I see in the next week gets a little bottle of it.
I do that with granola too. That's kind of like I like bringing that to people if they're having me for dinner, because it doesn't interfere at all with their dinner. And, and then they can do it and they can have it in the morning. If I was a better baker, I would do like scones or muffins. I feel like 11 Madison. Am I remembering this right? I've never actually been there, but every time I talk about this thing that I do, people are like, oh, it's like 11 Madison, where you go. I mean, where one goes, and you have this beautiful dinner, and then they send you home with breakfast. Muffins or something.
I think it's granola.
Yeah. It is. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I am kind of on the right track here.
Yeah.
It's definitely not 11 Madison level granola, but it's granola. It's so easy to make, and I'm always making it. So, but by the way, I don't know if you're going to ask this, but I always have cellophane bags on hand.
That's a great idea.
I don't know why. It just upgrades it a little bit from a Ziploc or I mean, a mason jar is sweet too, but like just a cellophane bag with like a little twine around it is so easy, and it just feels giftier than just a regular batch for some reason.
Definitely.
And sometimes the gesture doesn't come through when it's just in a Ziploc bag. I brought, this was my friend Hetty had me over for lunch, and it was in the middle of the summer, and I had all this watermelon, and I decided to make a ton of watermelon juice, which I think personally is like an extremely luxurious thing.
Total treat.
Just 100%. To chug a big glass of watermelon juice. I was like, I'm going to bring Hetty some watermelon juice as like my thank you for having me over for lunch. And it was like a deli container that I had definitely washed really well, and I had but I repurposed it. And I was really just thinking about like how good the watermelon juice was. But the second I handed it over to her, I was like, oh,
something's lost.
Something about
missed
this
opportunity.
Just isn't quite right.
So
and it,
funny.
kind of like dripped, and it was a little bit sticky.
Sticky,
and I was like, oh, I definitely missed the mark on this one. But
it does really transform it, because I think also people need to know sort of how you're going to use it, and there's something about elevating it that sort of gets people's mind rolling a little bit. That's happened to me when I've like brought over like dips for people, like if I'm like bringing appetizers to someone's house and they're making dinner or whatever, and I'll make like some hummus and some special. I remember once I made this like beet feta dip, so it was really pretty. It was like this bright pink dip. But similarly, I feel like I didn't package it very well. Like I think I maybe just put it in sort of an old Tupperware that I was like, I don't need
an old
this
sour
back.
cream container.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're right. I think I put it like in the cottage cheese container that I'd like used the end of or something. And I remember handing it over and being like, this is just not showing. Yeah, I'm apologizing instead of feeling proud. I was like, it tastes good, I promise. But
I always struggle with that when I am like bringing dinner over to someone's house for whatever reason, like if they had a baby or anything else, and I don't ever feel like I have the right containers. I've recently, like when I go to Fairway or the local grocery store, I pick up a bunch of the deli containers for that reason, because I feel like for a dinner, like maybe not watermelon juice, but for dinner, those feel like the best containers. Yeah. I don't know, but I'm still waiting for the perfect vehicle. Like I don't have Tupperware trays that are disposable or reusable, or I don't know. I guess I could just in theory deliver things with the dish that they're baked in or tossed in or whatever, and then expect it to be returned.
Right.
Yeah, then it's work for them, and it just doesn't feel as gifty as like the deli containers work with like little. I pretend I'm like in a restaurant kitchen, and I put the tape on it with like saying what it is, so it just feels kind of cool, you know.
You're just like, this is just from one professional to another.
Just a little something.
Exactly. I'm just trying to pretend, but yes, but I am always looking for like just fun ways to make sure that that comes across, that this is a gift and it's easy and it's fun, and I usually put in a little card that says like how to do everything or heat anything if it needs to be thawed or frozen or whatever.
And not to bring it back to Hetty again, but she brought me something she had made, and she had on hand like nice. It was like maybe they're like the biodegradable takeout containers where it's like the brown craft paper and then the little plastic thing, but. And I don't know if they were like left over from some kind of pop-up she did or what, but she had just kind of had them on hand. So anytime she's like divvying up leftovers, she puts them in these nice little containers and gives them away. And I was like, oh, that's a good tip, just to
that is a really good tip.
You know,
that's
pack
exactly
of 25
what I'm
or something
asking.
And keep them on hand.
And they're recyclable, and I'm writing that
exactly.
down. I'm assuming Hetty McKinnon, so she has those salad bunches where she has tons of leftovers, so she would
I think that might be exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Even so, those are easy to procure now.
Yeah.
Do you like keep stuff on hand for gifting, or do you have any go-to things that you pick up if you're like heading from one place to another and don't have time to make anything?
You know, you would think that I would have that go-to something, but I don't. And I always do have something in the gift closet awaiting
gift closet.
Gifting.
Tell me more about your gift closet.
Well, I have like a little, I'm sure you guys know this is a problem not many people have, but people send us swag to promote on various platforms, and I don't always need the stuff, but I know other people will and delight in it. So that goes in the gift closet. I get spices and herbs all the time, and I must have 10 bottles of Royal Cinnamon burlap barrel. And it's delicious, but I just don't need all that much. So that's in the gift closet, those kinds of things. I just came back from Italy, and I got a bunch of really beautiful vinegars. So you have to be vinegar worthy, that's a special one. So
that's a really special one.
And then I have, I can't take credit for this idea. Brooks Reitz, who writes the Substack, A Small and Simple Thing, I think that's what it's called. Yes, great newsletter. He, for my holiday gift guide, he wrote about giving a batched cocktail, which I always have done, but he upgraded it. He got these beautiful bottles from Amazon. They have heft and they're glass, and they have like a little black stopper with some kind of seal on top. And he bought vintage labels, and so he writes like Negroni from Brooks or whatever on it, and it's so classy and personal and sweet. And so I have in my gift closet, I have a 3-pack of those. I think I have 2 left now. I did a batch Negroni for my friend Lori 2 weeks ago, and I think it's very easy to make that look celebratory and fun, and also a batch cocktail is just a fun thing to give.
Oh, completely.
Gosh, I never thought about a batch cocktail that doesn't include any fresh ingredients, so you could actually just make it and hold it until you need to. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
That's amazing.
And now that you say that, I'm wondering if I did something wrong.
What do you mean?
Because I made a Negroni. I always batch a Negroni because it's easy. It's from 1 to 1 to 1. It's very easy to remember gin, Campari, vermouth. Yeah. And I had a blood orange Negroni at a restaurant recently, and I was like, I'm gonna make that for Lori, and so I added blood orange juice to it. And that's definitely a fresh ingredient. So it was for the purpose of a party that she was throwing that night. So. But that is good for me to know in the future. I wasn't really thinking about
Yeah, just keep it in the fridge. You should be fine. Yeah.
Someone once during COVID for my birthday was right in the beginning of it's in April, and so it was like in the first month of COVID in 2020. I got a bunch of like cute little deliveries on my doorstep, and someone gave me a pre-batched Vesper, an elderflower Vesper, just in a mason jar. Which I thought was the sweetest thing. Just a single serving Vesper. She was like, my friend Sonia, you deserve this today. And it was like a Tuesday. It wasn't like any, and I was like, you know what? I'm having a Vesper tonight. And it was just for me.
A little of this. Yeah, totally.
I love that. The single serving cocktail, batch cocktail. It's fun.
I think there's 2 different avenues of these types of presents. One is like the super practical, where it's like, I'm going to just take care of dinner and you don't have to think about it. And that's and that can feel like a treat too. But then there's the you would never do this. And
exactly.
I'm going to do it for you.
I love those gifts.
Yeah. I love those too. I love those too.
The surprise and delight. Yeah. I like also if you're excited about a cookbook and you can give someone a cookbook as a gift with something like that. If they have a recipe that's gifty in the cookbook, just so you can, I don't know. I'm just thinking, I think Deb Perlman's book has a hot fudge sauce in it. And I feel like
idea.
That would be a fun gift for somebody. Like, here's hot fudge sauce from page 220 or whatever. Or just started. Ingredients from a cookbook and a cookbook is also a good gift.
Yeah, like one of those ingredients you have to seek out a little bit. I was just thinking, I used to very regularly go to the farmer's market, like maybe twice a week. And when the strawberries are in season or when the asparagus is in season or when there's really good stuff, like that's so... Well, maybe it's just because I love it so much, but I'm like, here's a quart of strawberries from the farmer's market today. Oh. And so in some ways what you're doing is just like gifting the effort of going out to procure them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And also, like, I do that if you're visiting someone somewhere else. I mean, being in New York, it's easy, but like to bring stuff that you can get locally here, like from your farmer's market, like even eggs or bacon or something that's just made here that you can then give to someone.
My friend Ben came and stayed with us recently, and he brought a package of these dates from LA, and these dates from like one of the date farmers over there, which were just so good. It was almost like they were coated in syrup. They were so sticky and so sweet, and like the texture was, I mean, practically like custard. It was so sticky
amazing.
and delicious. And I was like, God, you can't even find these here. This is one of the most amazing things I've ever received.
Yeah, you probably don't want to even do anything with them, right? Just enjoy
exactly.
them.
Oh, yeah.
Straight from the... I put them in my smoothies thanks to a tip I read on Lucas Folger's.
Oh, yeah. You're a big fan of that smoothie. I love that.
You have no idea. I make that all the time. A blueberry smoothie from Lucas's website, from his newsletter is... I always have the ingredients for that. You would think I never had made a smoothie before. I don't know why, but it just, there's something about it. It feels I put flax seeds in it or hemp or always a date, almond milk, a scoop of almond butter, the blueberries, obviously. And it's so pretty,
I know. It's a beautiful color. Yeah.
Every time, it's hard. Not to take a picture every time.
And you've messaged me once or twice when you've made it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to make myself a smoothie. That sounds kind of delicious. It's so funny too that recipes like that, maybe this is something you find in your work, but to me, I just put that out there because I was like, I got to send something. And then the most obvious, simple type of recipe is the one that ends up resonating with people rather than the one you kind of like labor over and think that is like so clever and really like breaks new ground.
Yeah. When I worked at Real Simple 100 years ago, my boss, I was in the food department. I wasn't like any kind of recipe developer. I was just like the word person in the food department, and they were brainstorming ideas. And I think it was Kay Chun, who's now a contributor at the New York Times. She was talking about anchovies, and back then no one really cooked with anchovies, or it was kind of a new ingredient that people were discovering. I mean, just like the home cook was discovering. And my boss said something like, well, why don't we do garlic before we do anchovies? And it became this kind of metaphor for like content in general. Like people want garlic. They want the stuff that's right in front of them first. Like we rack our brains to try to come up with something. I mean, obviously you can't just only write about the obvious things, but it is true. The things that resonate are the things that are right in front of us almost all the time.
Well, and those are my favorite recipes too. And I'm willing to seek out the weird ingredient and special order things and stuff. But the recipes that I get the most excited about are the ones where I'm like, oh, I have everything to make that right now.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And those feel the most practical too, where you're just like, they're the ones that are right off the top of your head that everyone will eat, that, you have the ingredients for. It seems like it's fun to expand that always, but if you have like that back pocket recipe, it's pretty handy. Oh, one other thing I thought was salt. I have a ton of like salt and pepper shakers in my house that I'm constantly culling because like, if you go to an antique store and you buy new ones, and then I'm like, okay, these old ones can get, given to someone else. So doing that and like some special salt, I always feel like is a nice gesture for people.
I'm intrigued by your collection of salt and pepper shakers.
I guess I'm kind of obsessed with salt and pepper shakers. I didn't really realize that about myself until I like had to clear out this piece of furniture that has like dishes and all that stuff. I think it's one of those things if you're into antiques and like consignment shops that you're constantly finding salt and pepper shakers. So
and you
it's
put
not
the
true for everybody.
Yeah, do you put the fancy salt into the salt? I mean, 'cause
Well,
I
it has
feel like
to
whenever I
be-
have fancy salt, it's like it has to be sprinkled.
It does have to be sprinkled. Well, you can also get like a little. Have you guys ever seen these little like pinch bowls that have little feet on them? And you can use either like a teeny tiny little spoon, or you can pinch it out of there.
Do the pinch bowls have to have the feet on them?
I think so.
That's intriguing to me. You had me at pinch bowl. And
Yeah,
I was like, the feet.
if it's got like a adorable little griffin foot on the bottom, I'm like, yes,
Wow.
that's the one I want.
Going to Etsy immediately.
Yeah,
Is that these are antiques that you find, these pinch bowls?
yeah. They're the best. The thing is, it's very hard to find a spoon that's small enough. Even like in an antique store, you're like, this teeny tiny spoon is just a little too big for this teeny tiny bowl. So it works well if you're using the type of salt just flew out of my head, the flaky salt. Yeah. If you're using Maldon salt.
I'm assuming the bowls are just a little bit too small to get your fingers into.
You can stick 2 fingers in there and grab a little bit, but you might have to do it a couple times. They're not practical. They are not practical. They're purely for fun.
Form
That's
over
a fun
function.
little gift idea too.
That
It's like
is
don't
really
overlook
fun.
the flea market or the antique store.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I do tend to do that because I have a lot of that stuff. I'm a collector of that sort of stuff in my house, so it's definitely, if I get desperate, I'm just roaming around the house and finding some little antiques that like I've really enjoyed for the last 10 years, and it's time to like ship them off to a new home.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea. My friends Paul and Brandon are major. Like they go to that giant antique flea market thing up in Massachusetts, the one that like sprawls.
Brimfield?
Yes.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it
I've always
sprawls
wanted
for
to
like
go there.
acres and acres and acres. And then I think they just find all this stuff, and then over the year it's their gifts for everybody, and they always
Yes.
wrap things up beautifully because they find these beautiful linens and little.
Yes.
They gave me
That's
something
amazing.
in. It's just like a little like cloth bag with a drawstring, and I can't remember what it was even in it, but I was so excited about the bag because it's like, oh, I'm going to put all my cords in this bag, and that's like a little bag that I have like my iPhone charger and my earbuds, and I was like, I've been needing
Fanciest cord
something
bag.
and it's just like a piece of cloth, but it's really cool. And
That is
anyway,
cool.
it's kind of fun that they've like collected all these things, and then every time they need a gift, they just reach into their collection.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that for vintage cookbooks too. Like when you go to those,
Yes.
or like bookstores or antique malls, they have usually like fun sections on vintage cookbooks, and those make really funny gifts.
Oh, yeah.
I've gotten a bunch of them, and as I've been the recipient of many, and they're just always interesting and different.
Are they ones that you
definitely.
cook out of?
Never, but
Yeah.
well, once I got. Yeah, no, I can't. I mean, they're so fun to read. I mean, in particular, I Hate to Cook cookbook.
Oh, yeah.
Many people have given that to me over the years, and
Really?
Peg Bracken is like a real kind of patron saint to me. Like she's just the way she writes about food and is so funny, and so the recipes. I don't know if they were ever in fashion, but the writing is never goes out of fashion. I don't know how it's possible, but like you can, from the first page of that book, she just grabs you. Like she's so funny and real kind of sassy and over it and busy and just like clearly likes to cook, but is just talking about everything else around the cooking, not just the food, which is always my favorite way to read about food. I've definitely used that in some way, I just haven't cooked from it.
Got a few extra copies in the gift closet.
Yes.
So, Jenny, as you know, or I think I mentioned, we always close out our episodes by asking what's for dinner tonight. Do you mind sharing what your dinner plans are for tonight?
You did prepare me, and I still forgot that. And usually I think about dinner.
To us every time. Yeah.
But I think about dinner literally all day long, so it's really weird that I don't have an answer for you. But the only reason why I think I don't know exactly is because I'm on my own tonight, and usually when it's my husband is home, like I don't know, I'm just a little bit more intentional about it. And but having said that, I think I have some chili in the freezer that I made. I have a 3-bean chili that I have that I make all the time. It's from one of my cookbooks, and I I just remembered I have a stash of that, so I'll probably do something like that with I have an avocado and some plantain chips, and
Oh, perfect.
it's easy.
Yeah,
Watch a little British Bake Off on the couch.
Like the perfect evening. Sounds amazing.
Ellie,
Lucas,
what are you? Oh, I'll go. We talked about this at one point, you, Ellie, and I, about both of us not really loving black-eyed peas. Just like, I love beans. I love almost all beans, but they're ones that I've struggled with. And so I put the question in like the little Substack chat and asking people, what do you do with your black-eyed peas? Why don't I like them? And basically everyone said you need to try Indian recipes. Make like a black-eyed pea curry, which I've never done, and it would not have occurred to me. Yeah. And so tonight I'm going to make one. It's like a sort of a tomato curry with a lot of the familiar spices and the ginger and the chili and the garlic. And
that sounds amazing.
I know. Yeah. I'm really excited about it.
That's a good way to disguise them. I'll be curious if you're like, oh, I actually love the flavor of them, or just I couldn't taste them anymore because
but maybe it like compliment. There's something about the texture that makes more sense in that context. I'll report back. How about you, Ellie?
My husband requested barbecue chicken for dinner last night, which I made, and then no one really ate it. I don't know if that's very frustrating.
Your husband did, I hope.
He did. I did. But the kids eat like a million snacks in the afternoon, and sometimes the snacks then it comes to dinner and they just don't really eat anything. So I have like a ton of barbecued chicken, which isn't a chicken preparation that I tend to have around all the time. So I was trying to think of something to do with it, and then I was like, maybe we can just stick it in tacos. So I was like, if there's avocado and there's tortillas, basically my kids will eat anything. I was thinking about that. Maybe making some black beans. But again, if I do that, then no one will eat the chicken. So,
they want the beans more than
they want the beans.
Wow!
Yeah, wow. They love black beans.
How do you make the black beans for them?
It's pretty straightforward. Like a sautéed onion and garlic. Add some cumin. Add some paprika. Add some salt, and then add the black beans with their liquid. If I'm just using canned ones, and then blend it up.
Wow.
And they're very pumped about it.
It's not the worst thing in the world if they choose that over the chicken.
It is not the worst.
They're getting something healthy.
They're getting something. Yeah. I mean, in some ways, it's probably the better meal, to be honest. But I'm like, if I'm trying to move the chicken along, maybe.
You're like, today's special is
the
chicken. The chef is recommending the chicken.
Yeah. You might not recognize it, but it's what we had for dinner yesterday.
Oh, my God. So funny.
Well, thank you so much, Jenny, for joining us for this conversation. It was really fun chatting with you.
Oh, my gosh, it was
so
the best.
Fun. Thank you so much.
I could talk about this forever. Thank you guys so much.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Oh, that was so fun. Thank you so much, Jenny. That was amazing. And this gives me so many good ideas. I think now I'm going to be able to stick some more stuff in that box.
Yeah, and I think what I'm going to do is stock up on some nice sort of like takeaway containers or something for easy packaging of food gifts.
Yeah. That said, I do think you package your food gifts quite well.
Yeah, maybe.
They're always like wrapped in parchment and tied with a little piece of twine.
That's true. I think I made an effort that time. That was like a loaf of that bread or something, right?
Yeah. It made an impact. Yeah.
Well, it was really fun to also have a special guest for the first time, and would love to hear if you all who are listening have any food gifts that you like to give away, or occasions that maybe we didn't discuss or wouldn't have thought of. And you can always tag us in comments on our Substack, which is saltpig.substack.com, or shoot us an email, saltpigpodcast@gmail.com. All right. And thanks, Jenny.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jenny. And we'll just talk next week.
Sounds good.
Okay, sounds good. Bye.